Hello, everybody. We're back. Map 2, straight in. Own sound as. We're waiting for both teams to be ready to rock and roll. And then we should be getting into our map 2, which is going to be, of course, Mirage. Jammer. That Inferno was something else, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
Um, I don't even know which way to kind of word it in a better way, but like that was just like end to end, more or less, back and forward constantly. And then you had like these subtle little mistakes that both teams kind of latched onto and made full use of throughout the entirety of the map. I said this a few times in the first map. I was like, I can't believe this is just map one. No, we're now heading to map two, and if it's going to be anything like map one was, we're in for a really exciting one again.
yeah. I mean, that's the first time that we've really seen Owen be tested. And don't forget,
Yep.
that was their map pick. We're moving on to
Yeah.
Mirage, which is Sound as map pick. And if Raz J is going to be AWPing like we saw him AWP on Inferno, this is going to be one hell of a game.
I just more more CS. We mentioned this in the break between obviously you and I have had a bit of an extended break because of personal stuff over Christmas period. We normally take off like the month for Christmas. I say normally. Last year was our first year fully working together properly as like an official, dual partnership. But you get the sentiment. We both don't want to work over December. Like we want to chill out as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But it's been nice today to come back into it, brush off the cobwebs, and kind of, jump into the fray, so to speak. Speaking of jumping
Well,
into the fray, TJ is going to start things off as they push themselves in towards B site. We've got a lot of sporadic fire going everywhere, and Cole is just standing out once again, like he did actually the first time we watched him play on this map, and he's just slapping heads. You've got the backup of the additional teammates. Aaron's there as well. Also, we know that he's a danger man in the best of positions. You stick a USP in his hand, and he's going to do what damage needs to be done. Cole there with a tasty one tap.
tasty indeed. 3K for him, and you said it perfectly. Sound as just come out swinging, but it's sporadic fire. It's not going to connect, and the precise pistol action of the USPs just connects and then some. Unlucky for Sound as, but Own, they start on the correct footing that they wanted to on the first map.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, it's just exactly what we want to see. Toko, by the way, chiming elsewhere, got himself a scout, and he's already starting to do the damage that needs to be done. Aaron Faith. Okay, we need to talk about Aaron Faith in a minute, and we're going to come back to it in a second because this man plays every direction, like every position you could possibly imagine. And it's great to see from a CT player. Bodon doing what Bodon does, taking the fight to the player that's doing the most amount of damage on mid. Freds is there to back things up, however, and he'll take down two of his own. It's left now to Raz J to quietly sneak somewhere.
Well, Raz needs some Erasmataz to get through this round unscathed. There are 4 CT players alive, and he doesn't have bomb control, but with a minute to work with, he's just really counting on Owen to make a mistake.
It's just like Fred's going, come on, you wascally little rabbit. Come on that corner. I know you're there. 30 seconds left on the clock. Start hunting soon, right? If you're an own player, I
Well,
suppose.
Raz needs to die to get that
He
last
has
bonus
to.
money. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
It'll
Yeah.
happen.
I hope
2-0.
you enjoyed my Elmer Fudd impression, by the way. I've been working on it over Christmas.
Yeah, man. I can really
Um,
tell you put in the work and effort.
I'd definitely not be doing my homework of like, okay, research teams, research what we're going to be doing next year. Just
Oh
be
no,
sitting in the
just
house on my
impression.
own, just practicing Elmer Fudd. That's all I've done.
Yeah. Tell me about
Anyway,
it.
moving swiftly on before I get myself into more trouble with you. Smoke to help a little bit of an advantage position for Toko, making full advantage of it as well, taking full advantage of it, I should say. Godspeed Sustek falling not the better in that situation. Fred will swing peek out into mid from window. That's Nitbag taken out of the equation, and we're now in a 3v5. I correct myself, a 2v5. I'm going to correct myself again in a second because it's now a 2v4. Straight back into the action as far as Raz is concerned. He'll swing out from top mid, take out a player. He'll also do another player in as well. That's Toko. Toko really doing a lot of damage there from that mid control, by the way, Jammer. Something to something worth noting.
Yeah.
could be a danger man in that sort of position, especially when we've seen him with an AWP in previous matches. So, who knows? But as far as things
Honestly,
stand, go on, you.
I was just gonna say, while we've got a lull in the action, Raz
Yeah,
J looks to be the only player that's done anything so far for Soundaz, and I'm getting like PTSD flashbacks of Raz J, at the top of the scoreboard with like 20 kills, and then the rest of his teammates kind of like lurking down below 15
yeah,
or so. And yeah, I just want to see a little bit more out of the rest of the Soundaz players. There's a reason why
yeah,
they got to the finals. I just want to see that reason to come up.
yeah, indeed. I mean, this is the thing, it's all well and good having that one player that can really put you on their shoulders and kind of like lead the charge, so to speak. Um, but what it all boils down to in the end is uh, sustainability is the word I was looking for. Like, how long can you actually sustain having something like that?
Yeah.
Um, and owned are happy for players to do it. Realistically speaking, they got one on the board already as far as maps are concerned. If RazJ is that danger man from Soundaz, but the rest of the team aren't really performing to the same standard, then so be it. Yeah, he'll take a couple of names out as he's going along, but realistically speaking, it's what's at the top of the scoreboard that counts, right?
Yeah, you put it perfectly right there. Like it's all well and good players putting like shifts in at work and putting
Hmm.
skill down on the server, but it needs to convert into round wins.
It does. It does indeed.
Speaking of round wins, Own have 3 of them, and they're
Yes.
going to look to get a little bit more.
Oh, saw some damage there laying out onto TJ. I think that was that top mid with a grenade and maybe a little bit of a pistol damage or rifle damage that laid into him. He's pushed up all the way deep and he's looking for extra info if he possibly can get it. But Bowden's going to fall eventually. That's going to be Toko picking up the kill from mid. And RazJ is able to retort back with that AK, still retained in from the last round. Aaron's going to finish off TJ with a frag. And there needs to be, I feel like there needs to be like, okay, slow down, quiet a little bit for a second. Let's reset things. Let's figure out what we're going to do next. It's good tactics there coming in from Mitbag. A little bit of a tap to the wall to allow RazJ a little bit of extra movement into window. Doesn't help in the end, unfortunately, though, and he will fall to Freds. And this is just a scramble, it feels like, from Soundaz at the moment, Jama.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to come up with any answers that they can to this CT side setup on Mirage. Obviously, this is Soundaz's map pick,
Hmm.
so you're kind of hoping to look towards them and seeing something prepared for it. I know that we've said previously this is their most played map, and so
Yeah.
maybe they've played into their own demise. Maybe their own
Yeah.
players have like researched how they play the map, what they like to do, and they've kind of tried to come up with some counters.
Yeah, to be completely honest as well, I think, the other thing that we need to take into consideration is like if you're picking this map as your pick, you've got to be prepared to face a team from CT, right? You've got to know that you're going to be T side first, and you're going to have to take that into consideration when you are picking into this sort of map. So having tactics laid out and having plays laid out is massively important, more so than if you were just getting it picked in a normal game. You're playing yourself into that situation before it happens, and executes need to be very well placed and placed through. And this is a big execute that's happened from Soundaz. They've taken virtually all the control away from Owen. The only player that's left alive there is Colonel, and he picks up not one but two. He's looking for the last man before he starts tapping the bomb, and it's Cole's there to help out. A little bit of an audio cue to assist, but I think that's another ninja, sort of. Hybrid ninja, we'll call it. From Colonel. Second within 2 maps, Jammer.
Yeah, I think Colonel's heads-up plays have really been instrumental in
Hmm.
Own and their ability to just put rounds at the top of the board. Like you were saying, he doesn't need to get the frags. He just needs to win the rounds, and that's what he's
Yeah.
doing right now.
It's like when you're being chased by a bear. I don't need to. I
What?
don't need to. Yeah, it's when it's not. I don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you.
All right, I like that one. I'll give you props.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Oh, Sunday afternoon. um. Anyway, moving swiftly on before we get cut off the air. TJ, there again with the advanced position, pushed himself all the way down. that chair position to try and get some damage there through into short, maybe get a bit of extra information, figure out who's going to be in that sort of position. But it's all for naught at the minute. As you can see, the rest of his teammates are falling back, getting themselves into a decent position to push in towards A. And you can see the advanced man, Raz, he's already in a good position to really start putting some utility in, but he hasn't available to him. You know, he's in a good position in Palace. He's probably got a good read on what's going to be within the site itself. Audio cues coming into TJ also. We can see Freds has pushed himself all the way up to the bottom of stairs. You know, that's good positioning from him, and it's good information to pass on to the rest of the teammates. But it doesn't help anyone because they move into sight. Freds is there with the Colonel. The Colonel, you know, again, just clucks away, kills everything that's in sight, and dies in the end. But realistically speaking, it's all for the benefit of the team.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the key point about that round. You know, Sound As just did not have the utility to put that execute into play, and that's a real shame because they're getting into good spots. They're coming up with some cool ideas and like stuff like that I've said previously, but the execution is sometimes left a bit wanting, and that's a real kind of shame to say. But at the same time, it kind of leaves you in this spot where you're like, all right, there's promise here. Like with a little bit more refinement, I think there's the makings of something that could work.
Mm. I'm just trying to break this, or trying to figure out this, like the kind of next step from Sound as well. I mean, it's the mechanics that they're putting into position or putting into play at the moment. You know, this mid push now after losing quite a lot of utility and quite a lot of HP from the other pushes that they put into place. They're coming out on top. You know, it's having these like big adverse effects onto them, and it's pushing them into positions like this where they have to commit to pushing into rifles that are already waiting for them and know that they're coming in that direction. Awkward, really, isn't it, when you think about it logically? Because there's not really a good outcome either way. That is unless you have a man like TJ on the team who's able to connect on one and second immediately back to back.
Okay.
Okay,
This
I mean, where did the short man go?
Aaron was taken out by TJ, but you know what?
Ah, that'll
Toko
be
can
it then.
calm things down. He got a 4K.
Yeah.
Nice play from that man. I think the real crux of the issue there was time had ticked down way too low before TJ had picked up any kills, and I mean, it's pretty easy to read past that point. 7-0 is the scoreline at round 8. Sound As still trying to work their way through this defense, crack the code that is Own, and well, so far they're coming up empty.
My God, Toko. Oh,
Oh.
he's super unlucky not to pull that one off, in fairness. That is, like, again, you know, if you have, like, a really... You know, you're watching a really comfortable AWP player when they're happy to push out window, oh, and just take a
What?
shot through smoke. That is insane. B push is coming in, though, and the only man left to stand on site is Aaron. Doesn't have to delay just for a couple of seconds, but he has no teammates there to really help him out. The bomb, however, is up mid, and it's slowly making its way back towards T-spawn, rather than going short. The smoking deployed as well. It's kind of a weird play, that is, from me. You're
Oh,
relying
I
on
have no
Bowden to
idea.
hold the angle, right? Like, that's the thing of it. You're relying on him to hold the site off for as long as possible.
Yeah, I have no idea how Bowden survives in that situation.
No.
What?
Oh,
Okay. This is the best chance Sound As have had all game, but it's the Colonel, the Clutch Master himself, and he can't do it this time. 7-1. Sound As finally put a round up, and that's off the back of a Bowden 4K.
flabbergasted, to be completely honest with you. There was a bit of an awkward moment there where that bomb was running back down towards T-spawn to come up through apps to get into, in from B apps.
Yeah.
And bit of a... Yeah, I mean, I didn't quite get it. I know there's a minute left in the clock, but, you know, Bowden's completely on his own on site, but he holds his own, and, like, he doesn't need the support in the end. It's nice to see, but, yeah, I don't think he'd be able to run that one twice. You know, you wouldn't be able to pull it off a
Yeah.
second time or a third time. There's a lot of
Oh.
alignment that goes into it. Oh, speaking of alignment, Godspeed will pick up Aaron, who's playing the back lines. A play that we've seen him do quite a lot, in fairness. You know, kind of creeping up behind players and making them kind of think about their positioning, and think about the directions that they need to be going in. Wait there, CD's got picked. could spot bomb here if they're going to go through towards B apps.
Oh
It's
no.
dropped a little deep for them. I mean, this could be good, realistically speaking, from owned. No one's rotated back yet. Oh, we do have a player coming, though, from mid. That's going to be Nitbag. He's going to be on his own as well, Jammer. He's not going
How
to
is this
suspect this, I
happening?
don't think. He
Oh
doesn't.
no.
Oh,
Uh,
they have bomb
yeah.
control. They have everything. I mean, this is just... That's a massive mistake from Soundaz. It's all on these two to hold off the onslaught that's going to be coming their direction. That flash is big. Not quite big enough, however, to knock Fred's off position. He'll pick up Godspeeds. Ah, Toko picks up Odin, and it's now a 1v2. This is insane, Jammer. How has this happened?
25
Oh,
seconds
no
left on the
timing.
clock. RazJ, patient as you like, but Freds is just going to sit there and collect.
Jeez.
3k for him. Toko with 1 and the Colonel as well. I have no idea how Own find that timing, find that gap, get bomb control, and Sound have really just fumbled the bag right there. That's a blunder to tilt all other blunders from today out of the water.
That's just an insane round. I mean, like, if you look at CS:GO timing, CS:GO like bad moments, all that kind of stuff, that's one of them all mixed into one. Like, you leave bomb in an ideal position. It is always an ideal position to leave it there. If you're pushing towards B site, you don't want to lose control of it, and it falls anyway. Toko, however, man on an island will pick up 1 against Nitbag. Aaron's there to support against TJ, who pushes up the aggression, but Godspeed is just disseminating the entirety of Own on his own, essentially, and Colonel's going to fall eventually. Yeah, I was going to say, there's a little bit of an awkward moment there where they're both just staring at each other shooting, and no one seems to be doing enough HP damage to get the kill, but it's Cole now at a 1v3. He's got utility as well, Jammer, but he needs to put it into good positions to use it if he's going to go for a retake, which it doesn't seem like he will. No, he shouldn't
Unless
be.
Sound give him the fights. They do win them, luckily, but there's a world in which that wouldn't have ended up in their favor. 2 rounds in a row, though, from Sound. They might have cracked the code because they've semi-broken the economy.
Yep, they have. My days. This, be completely honest, this has been these two teams have really played well against each other in the last map. This map so far, Owned have kind of brought the fight to Soundaz. Yes, it's your map pick, but I mean, we're here to do damage to you. Soundaz picking up those 2 rounds in the back lines, you know, it's great, but they're making little mistakes, and then they're making a massive mistake off the back of a little mistake, and it's like, you know, you're going to get punished eventually for it. I'm glad they managed to pull back together, though, you know, and kind of take that last round, even after such a huge mistake for it to happen.
Yeah.
Again, though, I use the same word that I've always used. Sustainability.
Oh, what
is
is
the Aaron.
What is that shot? That's ridiculous. Fred with some ridiculous shots of his own, and now it's Cole stuck in a 1 versus 2 clutch.
Aaron, I will pay you to teach me how to shoot like that. Like, how does that even happen? Crazy. It's an interesting tidbit from chat to come up to you with in a few minutes, though, Jam. Once we finish this round off, it's Cole's going to look to try and do something with it again. But realistically speaking, there's not a lot of options he has available to him.
Hold on, what's Raz doing?
Where's Raz gone? No way. This is a 1v2. Oh, I was going to say this is a 1v2, but it's actually a 1v1, because if Raz isn't getting back into position quick enough, that's all she wrote. From chat, FEMA TV says, I love how the finale has just evolved into casters questioning life decisions on every play. You're not wrong. You're really not wrong. There comes a time in every commentator's life where they go, we're 10 hours into a broadcast day. Let's just start looking at everything and breaking it down into so much detail that our brains just explode. But I think we're not at that point yet. We're just really enjoying the CS that's been played out for us. And yeah, I'm enjoying this region's CS, at least anyway.
Yeah.
I know about you, Jammer.
A lot of head scratches in there, but honestly, I've really been impressed and enjoyed the CS that I've seen from the Isle of Man and Manx.
Oh.
This is a big blunder again. Aaron Faith capitalizing on for a 3k to save the hopes of Own in this round, and he made that doable for far longer than he should have. Getting away with stuff that he really should. This is
Yeah.
again. I'm going to question everything. Why and how has he ended up in that position?
This is another one of the reasons why I want us to record our cameras, because my hands are on my head for like the longest time, going like, how have they not checked bench? Why have they not checked bench? That's such an obvious position for there to be a CT player at. He picks up the first man who's running away from site, like running, to get himself into a good position to stop the CT rotation, and then just turns his attention to bomb planter. Even lands a hit onto Raz J, mind, who's just completely caught unawares as well. Crazy.
I'm gonna get a bold spot from the place that I'm scratching my head with how much I'm left scratching my head from these plays.
Not to say I can give you advice on that, but I can give you advice on that if need be. It's no problem.
Window smoke
Anyway,
just barely connects, but Raz J's taken out of the round so early. Connector as well taken down. Fred almost getting a third. That would have decimated this T side, but a 3 versus 4 is still doable, albeit that much harder. Sorry, I just took over that
you're
round.
fine.
What were you gonna say?
No, completely. More or less what you said, to be honest with you, mate. Like, it's plays like that send shockwaves through Soundaz, and you can see it quite clearly in the way that they're now set up. Those picks from Fred and from Colonel then mean that Sus, TJ, and Nitbag just immediately vacate anywhere near that, and they rotate back away towards T-spawn. This is why we now see them interjecting to get themselves ready towards A, and it's a good idea, but potentially run into players like Cole who are set at waiting for you, but then you've also got Colonel to contend with. He's up on box, on ticket booth. He'll pick up the first. That's the bomb planter. And realistically speaking, TJ should be doing nothing more than running for the hills at this point.
Well, 20 seconds left. They need rounds, and the Colonel's not going to let him get any. 9-4 now, as Owen put another round on the scoreboard, and that eliminates that 3-round win streak that Owen were on. Oh, sorry. Sound as were on. I'm so tired. I apologize.
Oh, you're good. You're fine. We've got this.
Oh, well.
This is crazy. I mean, Toko again, exactly what you want to see from a player, but not quite as effective this time round, unfortunately. He will fall in the end. Colonel also falls elsewhere. It's left to Freds to kind of recover something from this mishap on mid, is what I think we're best referring it to. That's a good grenade also to buy himself a little bit of time. I rate this quite highly, actually. I know he's losing jungle and he's losing connector, but realistically speaking, pulling back there gives him options to do this, rotate into B.
No, even just staying alive, it's better than retaining that area of the map for 10 seconds and then falling. Better to live and fight another day, and this is exactly what we're on about. The instrumental play coming through. Freds has quietly crept up into one of the most impactful players on this squad. I think you can say that for all of these players in their moments, but yeah, Fred's trying to hem the bleeding. Sound as though they are going to put a 5th round on the board as Own forfeit round 14. 9-6 would be a good kind of ending point for this half, and I think it would give both teams, a happy enough kind of position moving forward.
Yeah, it would. I mean, like, your old saying, which is someone else's old saying, and probably someone else's before that's old saying, if you're 10-5 or 9-6, you're in a very good position regardless, right? Like, it's either way, getting 5 rounds on T side is a good step forward into the second half, especially when you're rotating into a CT sided map as heavily as this. I've murdered your quote, but you know what I mean.
I guess you kind of have that handshake moving forward of being like, all right, respect to you for putting up a fight. I'm happy enough with how it is moving forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, seems like we're going to move into a classic old A Smokes against this Own force buy for the last round of the half. A Deagle, 2 scouts, M4 and FAMAS. They can make it work, but still not going to be the easiest of rounds to win. You can see the timing has been hit. Clock strikes, and the smokes will fly over. The actual push is very delayed, though. I don't know quite the reasoning behind that, but there you go. The players do finally start to make their way out. Toko still not been caught out unawares. There you go. He chooses a time to strike and almost picks up 2 for his troubles. 3 versus 4. 3 versus 3 as its call just comes into fruition. And, well, better late than never, as you say, but RazJ is too prepared for that kind of a push.
We need to talk about something in a second. I'll explain to you what it is. But something that something I picked up at least anyway in that last round.
What?
What? There is no way that just hit. Did I hit? That did.
That. The Colonel is. If you're the
Yeah,
Colonel
how do
and
you
you're
put that
listening
into
to this,
words?
buy a lottery ticket right now.
Yeah. Insane. Okay. So we need to talk about very, very briefly just before we switch into the second half. Toko. Toko swings out from Tetris, right?
Yeah.
2 players in front of him. He targets the left player, then realizes the right hand player is the one with the bomb and goes to the bomb carrier instead.
Okay.
And that's that, like, just that brief couple of seconds where you go, he's more important because he's carrying bomb. That's a couple of seconds where they have to recover bomb. That buys more time for my teammates. It's like all long term thinking, if you know what I mean. Not like
Yeah, it's
saying,
a high tier on the fly play.
yeah, exactly. It's key and instrumental in some cases with players.
Watch now in the post match interviews, just like, yeah, no, I just saw a guy shoot the other guy, and that was about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, watch that be the case now. But no, I mean, switching between like that, that's ideal. Colonel, I don't know how he hit that. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jammer. I think that one's gonna stump the pair of us for a while. The scout is like that though, right? Like, you can pull off some very weird kills with the scout. Speaking of weird things, moving into this run, I mean, double flashbang and a smoke picked up there from Odin. Toko being the man to carry the utility. Flash is going to be going into a site itself. That should give them a bit of an advantage as they push through, but Razjay hasn't been spotted out, and he hasn't also hit anything as of yet. He will, in the end, finish off Aaron.
Oh my
No one's called out the
What?
information that he's there. What is going on?
Well, Freds, I've called him a high impact player before. Now is the time to have some impact. 3 players to find. Trying to take one-on-one engagements, but he can't come out on top, and that's the 6th round for Soundaz.
Razjay's just like, too many targets, too many people. I can't hit all of them, so I'm just gonna try to figure out which one I can tap. Then goes to the guy that's closest to him, misses the first 3, but connects in the end. I mean, yeah, that's good position from him. No one's really taken, no one's really taken back by it, of course, because you don't really expect there to be a player there in the first round of the second half, or first round of the first half even. He'd also swing out into mid with the M4, try and get some additional tap damage, but there's nothing really there for him to to give back to his teammates as a result, other than there's a lot of them coming and I need support. Bodden will be the man to put that support into place, and he'll pick up a 3-piece for himself.
Yeah, clean enough round. No CTs falling, so that will bring them into this bonus situation. 4 MP9s and an M4 to hold off the relentless march of 5 AKs. So, yeah, it is what it is. 10-7 moving forward into round 18. And yeah, I'm really, really looking towards these MP9s to either go for a gimmick play or to sit themselves in really dodgy situations. So, sitting under window of B and Van, or sitting under Palace. You're going to expect it, but that's just the best place to put those MP9s. And this is exactly it. Look at how much space Bowden has taken in apps. This is perfect play from him, and that allows this A lean that's been put into place right now.
The best thing about that positioning, though, is the fact that Toko's looking for him there and doesn't see him. Push all the way deep. There's like a moment or two where they kind of pass each other as far as being able to see each other. And it just so happens that it's as Bowden gets into a position where he's just out of view, or Bowden comes forward a little bit more and Toko's just out of view of him for that split couple of seconds.
Now,
Good ground recovery. Go on, you.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, with Bowden this far up and middle control, I don't know. I would want to see a very heavy A kind of lean right here. You've got all this info. There's nothing B, nothing middle. Where's it going to be, boys? Yeah, this is a head scratcher again for me.
Look at
But
where
you know
Nit
what?
is, Jammer.
What?
Nit's rotating. Look at where Nitbag is. He's rotating back through to T-spawn to try and
Yeah,
help with the
exactly.
rotate.
Why are
Yeah,
the
but
players
like,
not here then?
why? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying the same
No,
things.
no, I'm criticizing the team, shall we
Yeah,
say?
I know, I
Raz
know,
J
I
with
know.
2 though, and it's
Oh,
all done. Soundhouse still
yeah,
win.
I agree with you though. I mean, why is there no other teammates around?
Yeah,
You know, it took Nitbag to go all the way back through T-spawn for him to get into a position where he could put some help in with the you know the pre-plant retake essentially onto site. But yeah, I mean you've got that much control on mid. You've got that player who's super deep into B. There's no chance of anyone coming up into B site at all. You know, there's no chance losing mid control. Let's put an extra man on A, or let's put 2 extra men on A and just keep Bowden in that same position. It's logical for them to do it like that. TJ
yeah.
in same position as what we've seen him in previously. Pop a Molotov down deep to try and get himself a bit of time to
Oh, the
get out of
whiff.
position, but he is dead as a dodo bird.
Oh no, the bullets just aren't connecting
Jeez.
from sound as. That's gonna drop the B site, and Freds and the Colonel might only have pistols right now, but they've got the bomb down. That this is job done, successful. Anything more is a bonus.
Short man coming up. That's Dipbag making the efforts to get into a better position to take on these fights. Fred will pick up one. Raz is going to be quick for him on the draw with the open. It's Nitbag to finish things off. 10-9
Now,
Jammer.
yeah, I was gonna say taking down 3 players, of course, as I've said before many a times, is gonna keep the CT side economy somewhat healthy. And oh, this could be a misplay. There's a
Hmm.
double up setup on the CT side, and if they put it to good use, it could be outstanding. But right now, it looks like no one even wants to pick it up. So there you go. TJ will probably pick it up and anchor B. That's good enough. But like I said, it can be a very hit or miss kind of situation, especially from what we've
Yeah.
seen earlier today.
Yeah, there's a moment there where everyone's like, I don't want none of that. Nah, I'm right. I don't want to be the one to get the blame for this one. Oh, Bowden though. Elsewhere. We'll pick up a frag. That'll stifle things because he's pushed all the way deep into Owen's lines essentially to grab that pick. And Nitbag's using that one-way smoke to try and get a bit of extra information. There's nothing really out there for him to see as of yet. Aaron's pushing deep into that chair. That's the information gained. Nitbag will finish him off. And now we're in a position where, like, all of mid control is Nitbag's, right? Like, there's no way for Owen to really recover back into it. They've got to make a snap decision. And the snap decision is to still push in towards mid.
Yeah, it's the push and pull of rotations. Now that
Yeah.
Nitbag has cleared those 2 players, Owen can
He's going to rotate off.
yeah, like Owen can read into that, but in a 2 versus 5, I don't know if this is necessarily the play. There's a triple up setup on the CT side, by the way, as I lose my voice.
Yeah.
What? I genuinely
Okay.
think the Colonel only died there because he ran across connector. Freds picks up 2 though, and that's damage done, but there's 3 AWPs on the board, and I have no idea what's going on. Save me.
There's no way Fred survives this with the AK in hand. But then again, there's no reason for Soundaz to push it, other than the fact that Nitbag has just got like bags of cash, you know, enough to buy enough in for 2 additional teammates and himself essentially after this round. But this puts us at level pegging at least anyway, 10-10. As we move into round 21. Things have gone very quiet. Yeah, I was going to say, things have gone very quiet on the own side of things, but it's because of the way that Soundaz are playing CT.
Yeah. Apparently, still having a player with issues with his mouse, but they're not going to pause. So
Not answering that
yeah.
question. Not doing it. Not going anywhere near it at all. Yeah. I mean, there is tech timeouts should they need it, but I doubt they'll take it, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10-10 as close as you can get right now.
Yeah.
Own, of course, 1 map up. Sound as, trying to level the playing field, trying to put a map up of their own. This is their map pick, and it might be their map pick, but B site is all in. Own have full site control. 2 players in market ready for this retake. Why does Toko only have a Glock?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he picks up an M4 and
Oh,
he's using it really well, so probably glad he picked up a rifle. Now
it's
just
intentional,
Godspeed.
Jammer. He's just sitting there like it's all part of the plan, my friend. Raz J is last man standing against a formidable setup from Owned at the moment, so keeping the AWP is definitely going to be a key feature for him.
Yeah, for that to be a sound as, you know, like confident win in that situation,
Oh,
that's unfortunate. But yeah, for
yeah.
that to be a resounding win, you need the B site defenders to pick up 2.5 at least, maybe even 3 players, and then you go for that. But the way that things stood, you know, the players were just kind of stagnating around market. Of course, there's utility holding them off, and past that point, the times tick too far. The players have set up too well. You just can't do anything.
No, you can't. You really can't. You're in an awful position. Okay, so kind of what we saw Aaron do previously, kind of anchoring back, throwing a lot of utility into a site to make it that make that rotation happen, and this slow like grinding push in towards B materializes. There's footsteps behind though, and that's going to be giving audio cues to the B site defenders not to heavily over rotate. You can't get away with that, Jammer, making all that noise like that coming up through the back lines. TJ is in a good position to take on an additional frag if he can swing out in time. He will indeed. And that puts us in a 1v4 and now a 0v4.
It's insane when
Yeah.
when I say, you know, this is what a B site needs to do to hold off a T push, and then they just do exactly that, and I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
should I add that one to the textbook or?
Sign this man up. That's what I'm saying. Get him, you know, Fnatic, should you need a hand, I got his contact info. You reach out. I got you.
All
So
right, you're my agent now.
I'm your agent now, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Taking a 68% cut. Anyway, so before you could say no. Pushing forward at least anyway, into round 23, we head 11-11 is the scoreline. It's Cole can hear the footsteps behind him. It's going to be Bodum that's making all the noise, and Cole will make a bit of noise of his own as the AK rings out. Toko also engaging with the AWP, getting that pick nice and easily for himself. He'll also pick up another. That's Nitbag. So this is now 3 players taken away from the A-side control. One off B as well also. So this is now a decision for Owen to make. Do we continue the push towards B, or do we use the 1 minute and 15 seconds, wherever it was, to rotate towards A? But the bomb is making its way towards B. This is those times, Jammer, where my conscience moment of, there should be a split in players doesn't quite work out. We need to see Godspeed rotate. He's had nothing come his direction for such a long time. And this slow downness of Owned at the moment is betraying them more or less. Are they rotating? They are. Okay. They got time to do it. It's just unorthodox, would you say?
No, it's just a good play. 2 versus
Yeah.
5. You're gonna sell the fake on one side, run to
Yeah.
the other one. This is textbook again. How to play T side in a 5 versus 2. You can't do a lot wrong, but this is how
No.
you do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Own put a 12th round on the board. Sound as moving forward, they have enough economy to buy into the next, but if they don't win the next,
They can't do
then
anything more.
yeah,
Yeah.
you might call it GG at that point moving forward.
Yeah.
So really, right now, it's just about Sound as saving these 2 rifles. That's the first step. Then past that, winning the next round with a healthy amount of players alive. If they're not getting those 2 things checked off, then it's going to be real rough waters for them moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, the economy just isn't there for them at the minute. They haven't got time for max loss to build up as well, also, because if Own get on this sort of front foot and they continue to press that front foot and press and press and press, Sound go on the back foot for 1 round or 2 rounds, and all of a sudden we're already over. There's 4 rounds left in conventional play. for Owen to pick up to be able to take the second map and win overall. So yeah, they don't have time to mess around. They've got to be very concise with how they play this round out. And I think going back to the old ways of doing things, having TJ in this sort of position, you've got Bowden there who's playing deep. You've got uh, you've got really good options as far as how you're set up for each side. That is going to be their bread and butter, as far as pulling this round back.
Yeah, man, it's such a hard and like question to answer about, you know, the way that you progress forward as a CT side. Nipag taking liberties in middle. There's no smoke down, so there's no reason for him not to. Lucky not to be punished. And Own, they go with this slow, methodical play style and this default, and I think that's something that's really good. They're just making sure that
Hmm.
Sound as are respecting them, making sure that there can't be any cheeky antics. Um, and yeah, it's just nice play. I'm I'm tired, which is why I'm struggling to break down these rounds as good as I probably want to. But
Not yet.
it looks like Own are going to be moving towards the A site. That's often the
Hmm.
correct thing to do in these kinds of situations with the utility the way it is. It's just a matter of timings now, and well, these A site defenders need to put on a defense. That's not a good start though.
It's really not a good start from the A side hold. Owen will run away with this if they're given the opportunity to do so. TJ's going to get into a good position to help out towards jungle, but Bodon's dead, and TJ now at a 1v3. He's got some
Oh
damage laid
no.
out. Oh no. Yeah, I was going to say there's good things and bad things that can happen, and I think TJ not being able to connect any of those shots onto the Opa as he's running away, it's not the best of moments. This is really good, by the way, from Freds and Toko. They're just giving TJ a little bit more space to maneuver with and work with. He's going to take the 1v1, but he's going to have to rotate back into Freds. He's already waiting and lined up for him, right? Like, yes, you're losing an AWP out of that fight, but it's good team play nonetheless because you're securing the round. And again, same as what I said earlier on, Jam, it's what's at the top of the board that counts.
Yeah. I honestly, that was a really nice attempt from TJ.
Yeah.
Maybe even a golf clap towards him, but the one point that I would say for him, there was a smoke that he ran past or ran around pretty much that would have actually really helped to kind of draw those into 2-1v1 engagements, and it would have maybe bought enough space for him to make that a bit closer. Unfortunate, it's not going to work out, but 13-11, this game is just as hotly contested as the first was,
Oh,
and it
Colonel.
could get even closer if the Colonel gets taken down, but he's so ready for that.
Yeah.
Takes 3, and that's it. The round's done and dusted already.
Doesn't even matter that Nipbag picked up the AK in a way. Because, I mean, this is now a 4v2. They've got all of control of B for free, more or less. And Colonel's just working his angles out perfectly. Look at this. I was about to say get this man a protractor, because he's just working these angles in perfectly, and then all of a sudden he dies. Nonetheless, though, an AK recovered from Nipbag, it's not it's not a massive issue for Owned. But definitely isn't now because he hasn't recovered it. But yeah, again, it puts him in this really awkward position now moving forward where they buy in deep into this one, have to win it. If they don't, they're on max loss bonus. Yes, they're going to be able to afford to buy into the next round after, but they're going to be buying without utility potentially, without head armor, which doesn't really matter going up against AKs anyway.
Yeah. Getting some deserved criticism for your crosshair, by the way.
Nothing from me, by the way. My cross is on dynamic, so this is whichever one is going out on broadcast, unfortunately, rather than mine.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Maybe we should fix that, but it doesn't matter because Own are about to win this entire tournament. 14-11. Just 2 more rounds separate them from winning the boosted #1 Manx IMEI Grand Finals. That was a mouthful. They
Yeah,
took
that
the
was
upper
mouthful
bracket
indeed.
run. They've come through undefeated. Haven't dropped a map, and in the finals is the only place where they've been on the back foot. They've been in the lead from all the other maps. So probably deserved winners that were tested. But yeah, it seems like they've started to recover the situation. And yeah, just waiting for them to lock it in at this point because
Yeah.
there's only Bowden left alive. Bomb is being planted right in front of him, so could make it work. Okay,
Oh,
could absolutely make it work.
oh,
There's 3 on for the ace. 1 versus 5 clutch.
no
He
way.
could do this. Now just Fred's left alive. He knows he's coming from A, sorry. Just needs to pick the right angle. 30 seconds left, so could be faked out, but this is it.
Oh,
The
big
ace
ace.
for Bowden when his team needs it most to put the 12th round on the board. And what a play from that man. 13 to 19, 30 to 19, sorry. Yeah, that's just an
That's just
incredible play.
incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. I mean, I echo exactly what you're saying. That's kind of what you need in this scenario where you've been kind of berated and beaten more or less for quite a few rounds on your own map pick. Is Bowden just stepping up, getting the ace like that? The man doesn't deserve a golf clap; he gets a proper clap, and that's exactly what you heard at the back end of that. That's just wonderful play from him,
Maybe
gutsy as
even
well with it.
a little pat on the back to go with it.
Oh, definite pat on the back. You know, post COVID, definitely a pat on the back. You know what I mean?
Well, Own not gonna go across the line or reach the line at least, just quite yet at round 27. We are petering down to the very end of this
Mm,
map, and it's Cole has the hero AK, so damage to be done. That's a sound cue, but oh, won't even win the engagement. Thought that might have fallen in his favor, but not to be. As a Nitbag will take him out, and that's the solo AK from this T side. So unfortunate not to win that one. It does seem as though Soundaz will stay alive for the time being. Colonel has an AK. I don't know if he had that from the beginning, if I'm blind
had.
or what, but Bowden gets a 1-for-1 trade, and those AKs are in recoverable positions. So, oh
Oh,
no, I've said it. It's happening.
yeah, it's happening. I was just gonna say, and again, this is gonna be cursed to the commentator already. I already know it, but that ace from Bowden could be massively instrumental at pulling this back in reality. You know, if it puts Soundaz on the front foot as far as being happy, you know, like content in the way that they're pushing into the later stages of the map. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all the difference as far as motivation's concerned for the teammates. Fred's, however, is going to start to push his way all along into site itself, and TJ's taking a bit of a recipe from Bowden's book here, holding himself back. He knows he's in a 1v1, right? No, never mind. There you go. He was checking to see if Window was coming for him then, and he's already cleared Window. Yeah, I think he took a recipe from Bowden's book there, hiding back at deep at bench and just swinging out when it's needed. Tech pose called. Not sure
I
why.
I believe it's Bowden's mouse
Mouse
still playing up. Could be wrong on that, so please bear
didn't
with us,
stop him from
newbies.
getting an ace, though, did it? What's going on?
Hey.
Oh, you know, come on now, Bowden, sort yourself out, mate. No, yeah. I want to echo that. Like that clutch, that ace clutch is just. I think that could be instrumental, as I said, in taking us through into map 3.
Yeah.
You know, it's the motivation that the rest of his teammates need. You know, it's the kind of like dig deep, boys. You know, we can do this. There's 2 rounds left to conventional play left, right? Like only 2. So
Yeah.
you know, pick up that. That's great. Pick up the next one, even better. Keep pushing forward and keep bringing the fight to owned. Essentially, you know, they could be the ones to knock them, as you said, off that unbeatable perch. We shall see.
Well, as we sort out the tech pauses, I think we can flirt with a little bit of the conversation of who our personal MVPs are, even if they're not the official
Hmm.
ones.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking personal ones, for me at least anyway, I Bowden, that ace is great. I loved it. Like it's perfect. You know, it's a wonderful play, and I think that'll probably be play of this match for me at least anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like you'd expect that to be play of the match. Um, but as far as like MVP is concerned, for like all round play, he's not as high up on the leaderboard as you would probably want to be. But Aaron's been very much like a versatile player for me. You know,
Right.
he's kicking up a lot of smoke as far as when he's playing against Sound Out or when he's been playing against them in good key positions.
Yeah.
So for me, I would probably end up sticking still with Aaron. I don't know about you though.
Um, I mean, from what we saw on Overpass, Aaron is probably the best shout, but the double C's. I don't think I could pick between them honestly, but the double C's, the way that they combined for
Mm,
Overpass and the way that they've had impact in the last a couple of maps, it's really kind of chimed in as the biggest factor for me
Yeah.
and their win conditions.
Yeah, Cole and the Colonel have definitely been instrumental in quite a lot of different fights. They've had these like little weird split engagements where they've backed up each other and helped each other out. Bowden there's going to chime in to begin with. We'll come back to this
Oh, the
conversation in
bomb.
a minute, Jammer. The bomb control, it's been lost and it's been recovered by CTs. This is all over with. We go 14-14 Jammer, more or less. Unless Fred and Cole can do something astronomically amazing, there's no way that they get this back.
There's a lot of utility
No.
to work with, but it doesn't matter when Bowden's connecting headshots like that, and that's it. He's cleaned up. 14-14 is exactly the scoreline that you talked about. Yeah, that's such an incredible play from Bowden again. I mean, if he continues this way, he's going to be the MVP himself. 34-20
Yeah.
so far. That's wow. I I honestly hope that we've saved this recording. I just want to watch back and see how flabbergasted we are for half of this
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
matchup.
This is literally it. This is what chat was saying earlier on. Like we're just like contemplating life choices for the entirety of this match. Like this is crazy. This goes to overtime, I think, personally, because I mean, knowing they're gonna have a big
Well,
buy into the next
you've
round.
cursed it.
I mean, I just feel like that's the direction that we're potentially heading. Oh, Nitbag. Nitbag doesn't care about your deagle.
It's like one of those Yu-Gi-Oh moments. You've triggered
Yeah,
my trap card.
yeah, exactly.
I can't believe I'm saying it, but Sound As have actually reached map point
I
before
can't believe
Own.
it.
Like, I don't want to say Own have choked it, but to a certain degree, Own have choked this position. Now, Own are trying to fight for overtime. They're trying to come back into things. And this is Sound As's map pick, but Own have definitely looked more comfortable for the majority of this game.
Take it back to the old school is what they'll need to do here if they want to get themselves into draw position and go for overtime. Toko just super deep into position. And Freds will pick up an extra as well also. Look at Toko taking all the way to CT spawn. Just taking that fight all the way back into that position. Oh,
That's
death to
the exact
Molly.
change
That's
of
not
pace
good.
that Sound As needed. Now a 1 versus 2. RazJ, the star player from Sound As, needs to keep them in it to push things to a third map, or are we going to overtime? Aaron Faith and Toko to hold him off. Your MVP, the positions, and
There
it's
it
going to
is.
be overtime on the card. Why?
OT1. So, we should
Uh,
probably explain OT for those who are watching that haven't seen an overtime before. Map resets in respect of like not scoreline but resets. It's first to 4 wins.
yes,
So first to 4 wins.
4 round
Can
win.
go on 4 round wins, right? It can go on for longer than that. We have OT1 coming up in a moment, but all players will reset to $16,000 each, and they buy down from 16,000 rather than buying up to 16,000.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the better ways that you explained it in our time together. But yeah, like you
Cheers for
said,
that.
this is kind of the point where the strap book gets thrown out the window. Now you're just
Hmm.
playing off vibes, and
Yep.
really it's about the plays that the players can make, because you have all the bells and whistles that you could possibly want to start things off. And then from that point forward, however things progress is just how the cards will crumble or how they'll stand tall. But yeah, you can see all the players, all the bells and whistles, all the util. And now it just comes down to the plays that the players can make and how they can, just play well as a team and execute the
Hmm.
strategies. Probably going to be an execute out from Own, but with Toko the way he's pushing, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for an opening pick. And yeah, there you go. Won't spot anything just quite yet, but we can see there is a player right around the corner in the form of RazJ. The smoke will eliminate his line of sight. At least I think it does, but oh no, there's a gap in that. With a good
Yeah.
flash, he's going to smoke himself
Yeah,
out.
he's gonna smoke himself off. Yeah, that's actually a wise decision in a way as well. You're going up against an AWP at top mid, but you've also got an AK that's been chiming off as well.
Yeah.
Aaron's in that position, where he can hurt you from the position that you've taken. So yeah, I mean it's a wise choice in some ways, and it kind of forces your hand in others. This seems to be looking more towards an A execute though, Jammer, just waiting
Yeah.
for the utility to get into position. then we should start ramping up, ready for this push in. Nitbag's in a good position, that drip box. He can do some damage to those advanced players that are pushing to try to get cover from the smokes. But the man in question at the moment is going to be Godspeed Sus. He's in a good position in dark. He'll pick up the first. He's not going to pick up any more than that. Nitbag is chiming in elsewhere, however. He's low HP, so he's going to have to make a little bit more space for himself to maneuver. He's not going to have enough chance to do it, and it's left to Aaron in a 1v3, and he'll drop as well also.
Well, first round falls towards Sound as they keep players alive, so they're going to fully reinvest behind this. You can see Own not phased at all. They will be reinvesting, and now it's time for them to come back into things. It was a nice idea with the execute that they were successful with it to get themselves into overtime. Not going to work out in the round following, but now it's really up to these players to try and make what they can of the situation. No AWP, of course, on the side of Own. So yeah, that could definitely play into things.
Yeah, it could. Oh, good damage there from Toko.
That's an early Molotov drawn out as well. This is going to be selling the fake, so just keeping players there. Nitbag taken out as well really early, so everything falling into place for Own to take this round away, but there's still the alien coming through.
Okay, Toko's like, sorry, I'm just flicking back and forward there, as you can see, but Toko took the initial damage, right? Like, laid initial damage out, took the Molotov as well, because that's good draw out play, and then still went back up, still repeated into it anyway, because it was like just to kind of draw a bit more attention their direction. Good play from your anchor player to kind of draw out as much as possible. What's not good play, though, is swinging out in front of Bowden. He'll manage to pick up one on its call. That's a dangerous player to take out of the fight. Freds is also chiming in the background, but he's going to drop not long after taking Raz J. It's now a 2v2. Toko is in a good position to provide cover, but at the same time, this isn't going to be a fight to win. This is going to be a 1v1 on mid, and he wins that one. It's left to Bowden to finish us off here, Jammer. Yeah, he's got the smoke. He can put that in a good position. Pros don't fake, as they say.
Oh,
but Toko doesn't miss. We're at the end of the first half of OT1.
My bulb just exploded because of how incredible Toko's play was. So
nice.
I'm in the dark. I thought there was a power cut, but my PC's still on.
I mean,
anyway,
could be worse.
Yeah,
could have been a power cut. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, final round of the first half of the first overtime, and it looks to be a B creep. So you can see some of the conditioning coming through right here. You know, in the previous round, Toko saw that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. The Colonel has just put a real spanner in the works. But yeah,
yeah.
This is actually perfectly played by Own, or it's going according to plan. Apart from Bowden, who's doing Bowden things.
Yes, of course he is. Bowden being Bowden.
Yeah, I'll break this down afterwards. We'll wait to see what Bowden does, and Bowden does nothing as he falls. So, Own, 5 versus 3 situation. They pretty much have an open field to play with. And I'll go back to explaining what I was going to say. So Toko was trying to condition TJ in the previous round when you've had 2 A executes. Now you're trying to end up on B, but you're trying to show the exact same thing that you did on those A executes to try and pull out the rotation, sell the fake. And you can see the Colonel on his lonesome will be taken out by Nitbag. The remaining 2 players are over here towards B. This is where they're going to start to push out towards during 30 seconds. And TJ can only get 1. That's not good enough. You need a multi-frag out of him. Raz, though, is there. Picks up 2. Not quite the 3rd, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Nitbag against Aaron Faith. 2 outstanding players, and Aaron, I don't know if he reads into this. Nitbag doesn't connect the spray. This is anyone's game, and Aaron wins it in the end. 17-16, moving into the second half. 19 is the magic number to reach. Wow. My light just came back on. What is going on? There's a ghost in my room.
Yeah, you got a poltergeist. We're playing CS, Jam. We're not fans before beer, okay? Sheesh. Yeah, what a way to finish that first half off, right? Like, just that little subtle one tap from Aaron. Very nice. I mean, this is like, you and I have covered a lot of grand finals, right? Like, we've done a lot of grand finals together over the last 12 months. This is our first commentary of 2022. Back in the commentary seat, so to speak, and Well, I don't think we could have asked for a better grand finals to start things off with.
No, it's in everything you could hope for and more. But right now, Own, they're on the front foot like they have been for the majority of the map. Nothing separating these teams but a fine hair with a fine tooth comb. Sound as making a lot of noise in middle, trying to bait out some unforced errors, but all that happens is Fred will pick up a frag and fade away, even smoking off the top of connector. So Sound as now stuck in a tough spot because they need to come up with some answers and try and take some more map control away.
Look at this play up towards B. I mean, trying to think of their options really here, but as of right now, there's not really a lot that they can do other than try to push this B angle, but they're going to be pushing into players at short. Bowden's the man to get there, but he's going to check short and he'll get dropped by Aaron, who immediately resets, goes straight back in for the next one on short, and that's bomb control lost, and it's going to be a very difficult one to recover, especially when you've got Aaron there and the entirety of the rest of the CTs come in to support. I mean, look at the amount of players that are stacked up here at short, Jammer. And that's a Molotov as well to stop things out. There's a boost in play, and the boost comes off effective.
Yeah,
You go to 18 match point, Jammer, and series point.
exactly. Own doing everything they can to pull it across the line. Bowden started doing Bowden things, but I think Sound as just count on him just winning that one. They're like, all right, he's going to win the second one, obviously. But Aaron, hot on the trigger, able to convert the frag, and that's kind of where it spelt disaster. Now Sound as on death's door, about to lose the grand finals in a very dramatic fashion, but in a way that no one wants to lose.
This is it. I mean, if this is the round that you're going to be able to do it in, this is the best opportunity you've got. You've got a 3-stack set up towards A. You've got one anchor that's hovering towards connector, waiting for that footstep, that little bit of a noise or lack of noise discipline from the T side pushing down mid. But there's nothing there, as we can see from minimap. This is all going to come down to timing, Jammer. There's an execute in motion. And right now, Fred is standing by, ready to receive, along with the rest of his players that are around him. Colonel's there as well. Also, that's a big need to throw deep. You'll land a lot of damage onto TJ. And the T's are slowly coming out. They're slowly, like, going into sight. There's not enough control from them at the moment to be able to get in deep.
Yeah,
And it's just like continuous spray.
I really want to break this round down, but we need to wait for it to finish first. Aaron Faith now stuck in a 1 versus 4. All the players are low. Takes down 2, and that's the bomb. Flashed off the mark, but there's 36 seconds left, and he could definitely make this work. He's read into it. 1 versus 1 against TJ. Spots out, but no bullets left in the mag. The flash peek as well, and TJ will win it. He keeps Sound as alive and just barely prevents Aaron Faith from picking up a 4K into an own victory. What a round that was. Sound as throw the smokes over A, and they delay the push. They get chipped down by the utility, but they're okay to just wait because they've got Bowden coming through middle, picks up 2, and that completely eliminates the A site defense. The Colonel tries to stay alive on site, and then Aaron Faith pulls off some little bits of magic, but it's not enough in the end. And what a round. That's insane.
Aaron should be laying in the audio cues here. It's Cole's going to be in a good position to put some early damage in. That grenade doesn't go deep enough, unfortunately, to do anything towards pushing away Sound as. Just jump in for information at the moment. There's no molly here as well, Jammer. I think that's something we need to highlight. So there's going to be very little opportunities to delay outside of using the smoke. And we've seen Sound as just push through smokes anyway into that position. This is actually really good for them, though. They're resetting themselves up. Oh, jump. I think that would have... Yeah, that would have been huge for definite by Toko. He's standing by ready for it as well in a way. Oh, the timing. Yeah. I think both of them were hit with the timing, to be completely honest with you. Okay, this is definitely still going to be pushing towards B.
Man, this is on a knife's edge. Could go back and forth at a moment's notice. Bowden, continuing to do Bowden things, it is the highlight of this map for me. He's just been so instrumental in all of the plays. And he just finds timings that I don't know how he keeps managing to find consistently as well. That's a kill onto Fred on the rotation. Toko for the trade, but That's an A site that's open. Toko doesn't connect on that shot. That was pretty instrumental moving forward. And now it's a 3 versus 4 that could have been a 4 versus 2. Oh my god, ships passed in the night. Talking about that. Look at where these players are. Oh, lordy lord.
Oh, there we go.
Well, it's not going to work out, but Nitbag is putting in a shift of work and then some. Not going to be able to get much more for his troubles. Godspeed now. 1 versus 1 against the Colonel, and the
Nice.
Colonel wins. That will be it. GG. Own are your IMEI boosted #1 Manx Grand Finals. They were the favorites coming into things. Sound as really tested them, pushed them right to the edge. But that will be how the cookie crumbles at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Congrats.
Congratulations
Yep.
to Owned, of course. Commiserations to Sound As. Um, I mean, they fought well. Like, let's be completely honest. Both maps they
Yeah.
took Own to the edge. I know we didn't go to OT in map one, but that could have gone that direction as well, also. And I really do feel that that's a good side that we're going to need to keep an eye on for potential tournaments going forward. Um, I mean, how do you break that final map down, Jammer?
Honestly, it's just individual plays from Soundaz, keeping them in the fight, constantly nipping at the heels of Own, who, I mean, seemed to be ahead of the game for the
Hmm.
majority of it. And then there were a couple of moments where they just made some blunders, made some big mistakes, missteps. Players went missing at certain points. You know, you talked about Aaron, he wasn't there for the majority of that first kind of like quarter of the game. And that's something that we can talk about moving forward. But honestly, right now, just like what a game of CS. So many head scratching moments, but that's what I love this game for. Like, there's nothing like CS.
Exactly. A massive thank you, obviously, to all the players that have been involved over the weekend. I know we've only just come in right at the very end of it this morning, but to be completely honest with you, it's a phenomenal day of CS. What a day to come back to commentary as well, Jammer. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone who's watched from home as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed and we've been able to provide even just the slightest amount of entertainment for you. I think that's probably the most important thing. I really hope you enjoy that clip of Jammer. Basically screwing me over as well. Big thanks, of course, to the guys behind the scenes at IMEL. Sorry, get my words right around here. Um, Massive congratulations to them for boosted one. Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're okay to plug our socials a little bit. So if you
Yeah,
have Twitter, you can find me and Jammer on Twitter, both at ReaperSteve1, which is me, and at Jammer_CS for Jammer.
yeah.
You
Check
can
us
keep
out.
up to date on everything we do, basically, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Also, watch our podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast that we do. It's called Into Overtime. We speak to commentators,
Players.
admins, players, everyone basically within the UK scene, across like a wide spectrum of ESEA Open, and we're hoping to do like Prem, advanced players, stuff like that. So yeah, keep an eye out for episodes of that coming up on our Twitter as well. Also, I think though the best way to round this off, Jammer, is to say this. See you guys last week into February for Boosted 2. I'm hopefully going to be involved in some way, and I hope Jammer will be as well also. But I'm also away that weekend, so we're going to have to try and figure out if our schedules will align for it. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Jammer, any final things you want to say?
Yeah, no, just another big thanks to everyone involved. It's the community that really pulls together and makes things like this possible. And this is kind of what I love the game for. But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys at the next one, hopefully.
Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And have a great one. See ya.